At the height of Chrisley Knows Best's success, most fans of the reality show wanted to know everything they could about the family. For example, they wanted to know about Todd Chrisley's secrets, his relationship with Abby Lee Miller, and more. However, no matter how many secrets fans learned about, the family's fans didn't expect Todd and Julie Chrisley to be sentenced to prison. Since Julie Chrisley was sentenced to prison, her daughter Savannah Chrisley has kept her in the spotlight by releasing footage of her and posting inspirational statements. Since Julie is still in the spotlight, fans quickly learned when the court threw out her original 7-year sentence. Julie Chrisley's life then took another surprise turn when prosecutors asked for her to be sentenced to 7 years in prison again. Government officials want Julie Chrisley to be re-sentenced to 7 years in prison. In January 2023, CNN published a timeline of Todd and Julie Chrisley's rise and fall. That article began by describing how the couple met, had a family, built their careers, and became famous. Then the article took a dramatic turn in August 2019. As CNN's article revealed, Julie and Todd Chrisley were both indicted on charges of tax evasion and bank fraud in August 2019. At that time, the couple completely denied they were guilty of the accusations they were facing. Still, in June 2022, Todd and Julie Chrisley were both convicted on all counts. In Julie's case, she was sentenced to 7 years behind bars in November 2022. Then, Julie was able to successfully argue in court that she needed to be resentenced. However, the government told the court that Julie should be resentenced to 7 years. With that in mind, it begs an obvious question. Why? In September 2024, WSB-TV Atlanta reported on the government telling the court why Julie Chrisley should be resentenced to 7 years in prison. The outlet's report quoted a very brief explanation of why Julie still deserves the same punishment that the prosecutors introduced in court. At the first sentencing, the government recommended a within-guidelines sentence. At resentencing, the government will urge the court to do the same, namely, to reimpose the same 84-month sentence, which is within the new adjusted guidelines range. While that quote is interesting, it lacks context for why prosecutors were making that argument. CBS News KBTX3 published an article in September 2024 which gave more context to the prosecutor's request for the same sentence. To know why prosecutors still believe that Julie Chrisley deserves to serve 7 years in prison, you first need to know why she is being resentenced at all. As CNN's aforementioned article explained, Julie and Todd Chrisley were convicted for hiding millions of dollars of reality TV income from the IRS. Additionally, the couple were also convicted of lying to banks about their earnings to fraudulently get millions in loans. None of those basic facts have been successfully disputed in court. However, Julie's legal team was able to convince an appeals court that an important part of the prosecutor's claims in court were unproven. As CBS News KBTX3's report revealed, the problem for prosecutors was the appeals court agreed their original timeline was wrong. During Julie Chrisley's original trial, prosecutors stated that she began committing fraud in 2006. However, the appeals court found that it could only be proven that Julie had begun committing crimes as of the beginning of 2007. Based on that finding, the appeals court found that the crimes that Julie had been found guilty of involved smaller figures than were originally presented. That is the finding that led to Julie having her original sentence thrown out. As a part of the prosecutor's aforementioned filing, they argued that a 7-year sentence would be within the new adjusted guidelines range. That reveals that while the proven amount of money Julie fraudulently got is smaller, prosecutors believe her crimes still fall under the same sentencing guidelines range. Julie Chrisley suffered a legal setback before her resentencing. In an ideal world, the sentences criminals get would be decided by the nature of their crimes, their likelihood to re-offend, and their past record. In the real world, however, sentences can be affected by many other factors. In September 2024, a short battle that Julie Chrisley's legal team got involved with focused on one of those other factors. When people who've been convicted of crimes get sentenced, the clothes they wear to court shouldn't play a factor. However, Julie Chrisley's team very clearly felt that clothes could play a role in her fate during her resentencing. In September 2024, a different report from WSB-TV Atlanta revealed that Julie's legal team made a request in court about the clothes their client would wear. More specifically, Julie's team asked the judge to let their client wear civilian clothing during her resentencing hearing. Unfortunately for Julie, however, the judge refused that request. That means that during Julie's resentencing she will have to appear wearing her prison uniform.